Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome back to the 2015 high school football season as the John Tyler Lions prepare to take on the Longview Lobos coming up on Saturday night, 7 o'clock, not 7:30, but 7 o'clock at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in the Trinity Mother Frances Kickoff Classic. Now, we are also, in addition to a new season, we're in a new facility. TISD's new Career and Technology Center on Earl Campbell Parkway is open, and we're in a big brand new studio. We've got actually 2 studios here, and we hope to, now we're keeping it pretty simple today, but we hope over the course of the next few weeks to add even more to what we do on Coach's Corner and make it an even better experience for you, and we certainly are looking forward to doing that. In the meantime, we got a familiar face back. He's not new, Ricklan Holmes, in his 4th season as the head coach of the John Tyler Lions. Coach, first of all, it's great to have you back, great to be back this year. First game, Plano 35-17, some good things, but in the end, you didn't win the ball game. Talk to me about what you liked and didn't like on Friday night.
I like the way they played from all 4 quarters. I think we've done some real good things on offense, some real good things on defense, and our special teams showed improvement. So just moving forward, knowing that we need to minimize the mistakes that we get made, and knowing that when we go against good teams like we did against Plano, they're going to capitalize on those. So we got to minimize that going into this next week game.
Special teams or just all areas that you need to brush
everything,
up on?
Everything. Every week you got to get better in all 3 phases to do what we want to do, and that's not just play 10 games.
You don't want to give up easy touchdowns either,
oh,
right?
Most
You
definitely.
like to get them. And last year against Plano, you had several, I think a block kick score and 2 or 3
Our special teams played real good last year.
Yeah.
They actually created some plays for us,
right.
And we made some plays on those deals, whether it was scoring on that special team play or getting the ball back for the offense and them going down and scoring.
Now, they're a running team, and you're going to see a running team this week, right?
Oh, yeah. So that means going in the district, we're really going to be ready against the run.
Yeah, no kidding. Before we'll get to Longview, get more in depth into Longview in a bit, but I will ask you this. Longview and John Tyler, I mean, there's a history there, isn't there?
I-20 battle.
Yeah.
Either you're going to go east or you can go west on 20, but either way, you got to go down 20. Something that's been going on for years against John Tyler and Longview. For a long time, we was all in the same district, so now that we're not in the same district, it's more for bragging rights than anything.
But it's still a rivalry, isn't it?
Still a rivalry.
Yeah, and what do you remember about playing in those games?
A lot of bumps and bruises, a good drag-out battle against 2 great teams,
yeah.
Always in the top 10 in the state of Texas, always making a great playoff run. Same thing this year.
What'd you like about the game Friday night? What'd you do right?
Offensively, we moved the ball very well. As you can see, if you looked at the stats deal, we outrushed and outgained them probably about 100 yards. Then on the defense side of the ball, we played real fast and real hard. We didn't always line up to where we need to be, and that's how they end up making the plays that they made. But other than that, I think our defense is much more improved athletically and more talented than last year's group. They just have to get the experience that last year group had.
And that last year's group, I think you had 30 seniors.
Yes, 30 total seniors.
Decorated seniors who'd been through the wars, got you to the state semifinals. So is it also a thing where you've got to find, or do you already have them, the leaders to take over?
We got some leaders to take over. We got some leaders to take over, and they know that they know exactly what their role is, and they're going to fill that role. We just got to, like I told our staff last week, we just got to improve every week. We can't stay stagnant.
I talked to Bryson Smith, your new quarterback, this week, and he knows. I mean, you've had a great run of quarterbacks, and he's the latest. So how'd he do in his first game?
I think he done great. I think he done some real good things with his feet, real good things with his arms. The only thing about last week is he made 2 poor decisions, and those 2 poor decisions end up in interceptions. He just has to understand that he doesn't always need to force the ball out of his hand.
Wants to make plays, though, right?
He does want to make plays, but he got to make plays within the scheme of the offense. And I think he got a little bit above himself, and that just comes with game experience.
Who else looked good offensively for you?
I think our running backs ran the ball pretty well, pretty hard. Offensively, our receivers, they always done what they need to do when the ball was in their area. So I think the offensive line, we got some things that we got to clean up on that deal. But overall, the fight and the tenacity was there.
Who played well defensively for you?
Defensively, you know Bryson Gibson. He played well for us at the safety position. On the defensive side, it has to be Pierre Leonard on the front line.
Yeah.
That guy is amazing. He does some great things for us, and he caused a lot of problems for offenses.
I was telling you on Monday morning that I got a son playing for Robert E. Lee, so maybe he'd be my favorite high school player right now because he's mine. But seriously, Pierre Leonard may be my favorite player on either one of the teams just because of he's just,
he brings a lot of
big
excitement
smile.
to
There's
the
something
game.
about that kid that just, you want to follow him, right?
He does. Now, sometimes it can get on your nerves, but during the heat of battle on Fridays, this week on a Saturday, we know that we're going to get everything we need to get out of that young man.
Chicago, you still call him Chicago?
Still Chicago. He's still Chicago, even though he's been in East Texas for 2 years now.
He moved out here from Illinois. His granddaddy lives here, I believe,
Yes,
right? And didn't really know much about. He knew Cujo football, and he adopted. He's all in.
He's all in now.
For a kid that didn't grow up around it, he's all in.
You think he's been there his whole life?
I know, yeah, and that's fun. Anyway, so the first game is in the books. And now the Lions prepare for the Lobos on Saturday night. Now, let's roll the tape and see some of the highlights. There were a lot of big plays in that Plano game, and of course, Coach Holmes, as always, brings along game video from the game against the Plano Wildcats at Clark Field. And you're on defense here, right?
First play on the defense side of the ball. As you can see on this right here, when we go to the tight view, this was a great run defensive play right here. Guys coming down the line of scrimmage, you see Shundrick and Pierre on the tackle right there.
Shundrick is a senior linebacker, right?
He's junior.
Junior. He played as a sophomore last year.
Okay. Played him at outside backer. We moved him on the inside this year.
Shundrick Williams, okay. There you are. Clog up the middle, make the tackle. 52 is Pierre
52.
Leonard.
No, 52 was Braylon.
Was that Braylon?
Yeah,
Big Braylon Jones?
Yeah, he was on that play.
Who's also another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Big old teddy bear until the game starts, right? He's the valedictorian of your class this year,
yes,
isn't he?
Is. Good pop play right here. Fake the run. Still run the route with the wide receivers and pop it out on the outside. Let the receiver use his athletic ability.
What's that play called when you run?
Duntavian. This is on Duntavian. Oh, that's called a pop play.
Just a pop
what
play?
It is, fake the veer or the option read and catch him on the outside.
Yeah, that's good. All right. But again, a quarterback, I know Lee runs a play like that as well with Zach Hall, where you take 2 or 3 steps and throw the ball. All right, here you go.
Defensive side of the ball, great pursuit by the defense, stringing it out, letting everybody work inside out, and stopping them for a loss right here. So that's a great play right here.
Who all's in on this tackle? Hard to tell, really, from that view.
Yeah, this view right here. I know first opportunity I had to play was our young linebacker, sophomore linebacker, was Dwayne Jones.
Okay.
He was the first one in on that.
You always have some 10th graders who step up and play for you, don't you?
Always, always. You're going to find a couple of those guys here and there that's going to be able to get it done.
Again, Plano's trying to throw it a little more, aren't they?
A little more. This is Pierre on the play, him and Braylon, the pit bull and the bear.
Is that what you call him, really?
That's
The
what I
pit
call
bull?
him,
Okay.
Pit bull and the bear.
Braylon's the bear and Pierre's the pit bull,
Oh, most
right?
definitely. Most definitely. They do a great job clogging up the middle on the run for us. You know, you got good quickness out of Pierre, and you got the big bulky strength out of Braylon. Roll out pass right here. Good game for us. Like you see, I mean, we done a great job moving the ball. Just got to eliminate the penalties and take away the forced throws that were the interception. This is James Allen right here. He's a kid, senior kid this year, finally getting that opportunity to be on Friday nights.
Okay.
So he's making the best of his opportunity right now.
Didn't he play some quarterback for you on the JV? Did he ever do that?
I don't think he ever played a little quarterback. He always played running back and slot for us.
Okay, all right. But I remember his name. I know who I've heard of him.
He had a good season last year on the JV team.
Okay.
Great play right here.
Closer look at it.
Great outside right here, crashing down by Greg Guerrero. And then the youngster, the sophomore, Dwayne Jones, coming in and finishing it up.
Guerrero is a defensive end for you, isn't he?
Yep, he's a sophomore also.
Sophomore also, okay. Wow.
You're going to see some big things out of that kid right there. Hard worker, student of the game.
You know, Plano likes to run the ball when the quarterback's wearing number 28, right?
Yeah, you know, that's a traditional thing for Plano for their quarterbacks to wear 20.
All right.
Coming down the line of scrimmage, looks like Pierre once again on the play.
Now they're in a traditional kind of an I formation look here, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Played the run great there, didn't you?
That was a great play right there.
I love this angle. You can really see.
Done a good job shedding the block, coming down and making that play. Back on the offense side of the ball again. And another rollout going to the left. You're going to see him make some plays right here. He's going to take this one down all the way down to the end zone.
Who is that?
This is Bryson Smith.
Okay, that's a quarterback.
I mean, we know what kind of runner he is because of the speed that he has. And
that's a 60-yard run. Let's watch that again.
But,
this is your first score of the night, right?
Yes. But I love how he still had his eyes downfield, even though, you know, he probably should have took off a little earlier than what he did.
He made 6 guys miss on that play. I think I counted them. Grabbing at air, weren't they? Now here's an even better look at it.
This angle right here will be a little better next week because we had a new guy in training on the end zone. He wasn't quite following the ball like he needed to, but
all right,
we'll get that under control. Just like everybody's in training.
Everybody's first game, right?
Great play downfield by the secondary. Great play. Got some pretty decent pressure on it. We're going to get Tobias Marshall to keep running up, keep squeezing the ball more inside. We'll be all right.
Who's in on that play?
Bryson Gibson and Kadarian Johnson.
Now, is it Bryson or Bryson Gibson?
Bryson.
Bryson with a T, right?
Bryston.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And
okay.
Bryson Smith.
Bryson Smith, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
No, that's Javante Mosley and Bryson Gibson.
Okay.
Javante is a guy that played on JV last year as a sophomore, and as a junior, he's our starting corner. Big, tall, athletic kid. Great run right here by Bryson Smith again, and using his legs and athletic ability.
And smart enough to get out of bounds so he can live to fight another day.
There you go.
Right?
You don't need to take hits that you don't need to have.
Yeah, there's no reason to take that hit for another 2 yards. So he gets out of bounds. Is he still learning, though, about reading the keys? And
yes,
because obviously he's got the ability to do that, but that's not always what you want, right?
And that comes with game. That comes with games experience. You know, that's something that you have to repetitively get, not just in practice,
right?
But in the game mode, because the speed is just a little bit different.
String it out nicely.
Great job.
Got about 5 hats on the ball there. That's perfect, isn't it?
When you got more blue hats than white hats around the ball, that's a good thing. Guys do a great job pursuing from the outside in, inside out there. Good hard run by the sophomore tailback and leading up in the hole.
You're kind of in an I formation there, aren't you?
little old school action.
That's old school right there. That's Alan Wilson stuff right there, isn't it? And really, Alan was a veer guy, right?
Yeah.
This is just straight I formation stuff, right?
Coming downhill. Coming down here right at you, front and center.
Boy, football has changed, though, hasn't it? With all the wide open stuff. There's a nice run. Who's that?
I want to say that's DeJuan Beal. Let's see. Yep, that is. That's DeJuan Beal running that ball. Little quick scat back kid. Little bulky. I mean, visually wise, he kind of reminds you of Jeremy Wilson. He's not quite as fast as Jeremy.
Jeremy's pretty good.
Yeah, Jeremy had about 7 gears on him, like a Lamborghini. That's the big tailback again, Trey Allison. Looking for some big things out of him. Got to teach him how to keep his knees up so his feet can keep driving. He runs so hard and so forward lean.
There you go.
Good job right there.
Is that the Damian Miller touchdown?
Yeah, this is Damian's touchdown, showing his speed. Looked like we had Decorian Blaylock watching the play. He almost got in the way of Damian. Got to find somebody to block. Work downfield. And then we had some new guys on the offensive line, you know, like a first-year player back, Alex Bridges at the left tackle. He's a kid that's been playing basketball for the last 3 years, so he finally got his little game experience out the way.
Yeah, I need to get you to talk about the O-line here in a bit because, you know, those guys unsung at times. Now, this is the extra point. You got a new kicker. Duran has gone off to Tyler Junior College. Who is
Devin
this?
Salzar is now our kicker. We got 2 other guys that handle punts and kickoffs. So.
Did you get him off the soccer team too?
Yeah, all of them play soccer.
Okay, all right, okay.
All of them play soccer. we got a change in the soccer program this year. Howard Story left the program and moved on, and now Brian Friend, which was my kicking coach last year, assistant coach, he's the head coach now. So.
Okay. Good pressure here. Chase him around.
Yeah.
Put him on the ground.
Make some plays. Tell somebody who had a good game against Plano, number 17, Jesse Darden, a kid that's a senior, finally getting his shot to play varsity, and he's making a good run at it.
So he was another one of those guys that was a junior who played on the JV as a junior.
Yep.
You've always done that. Guys, juniors really don't like to be on the junior varsity.
But that's why they call it junior varsity.
But every year you have 2 or 3 guys like that who generally come out of the program having gotten all those reps at the JV. They come up to the varsity as seniors, and more often than not, they're stars, aren't they?
That's right. That's right, because it's about the development of the kid.
Yeah.
It's not about just being out there on a Friday night and sitting on the sideline or being a backup. When you can get those real good quality reps at the sub-varsity level to get you ready going into your senior year.
Great to run through that helmet, but better to play, right?
Better to play.
Who was the young man, the defensive back last year? I believe he's your nephew.
Jordan Owens.
Jordan Owens.
Yep. Now playing at Henderson State.
At Henderson State, who I think, did he not lead the district in interceptions last year?
Sure did.
Yeah. And played 1 year of varsity football.
1 year of varsity for about a senior year.
Yeah, and so that's a good example. I know Coach Piskey and I were talking about the same thing. He's got a couple of guys that are starting for him this year who played JV last year as juniors and are now starting as seniors. So I guess the lesson there is that, you know, be patient, persevere, talk about all that stuff.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. You got to be able to go through the program and develop yourself as a player so that you can put not only yourself in a position to be successful, but the team to be successful. And, I think a lot of people get so caught up into, you know, the glitz and the glamour of playing on Friday nights.
Cujo, baby.
Yeah, if you're not that main guy that's going out there on Friday nights, then you're that backup guy. Why be that backup guy when you can be the guy that's helping himself improve on Thursday so that when you do get your time to shine, like the Jesse Dardens that's playing at linebacker right now you're ready. Now you have that experience, you have that game time rep to get yourself.
Yeah, the old adage in football, there's more improvement between game 1 and 2 than any other time of the year. Is that true?
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I mean, you have to make sure that you go from game to game to improve yourself.
What do these non-district games mean? I mean, you want to win them, obviously. The lights are on, they're keeping score. But what do these games mean, and what can you learn from them?
Well, what you first of all you get great reps out of it, great game reps, great game speed. You get to learn more about what your team can do in game time situation. Yeah, we go through spring football and you have pads on, but we're going against each other. The competitive level is a little bit different when you're going against somebody that's not somebody you go to practice with every day.
And even that scrimmage that you did 2 weeks ago, until you get out there and there are no mulligans, your mistakes, you pay for your mistakes on the scoreboard, and they don't let you do it again.
That's right.
The coaches aren't on the field like they would be in a scrimmage. It's a game. There's nothing that can replicate that.
Nothing can replicate that. Nothing can replicate what goes on Friday nights. Not in practice, not in the scrimmage. It's something that has to happen on the field.
What did you, when you were a player, where did you, was there ever a moment, was it the first game, the 10th game or whatever, where the light went on and you kind of got it, and how do you convey that to the guys to get them to learn that?
Well, what you let them know is if you practice hard, you'll play even harder, because everybody can't practice at game speed.
Right.
It's real hard to emulate, it's real hard to try to do, because everything is in a repetitive deal. But if you put yourself in a business where you practice hard, you'll play even harder, and they got to understand that if you practice half cocked or whatever you want to call it, then you're going to play to a level to where you're not going to have the success that you need to have for you to be in the position that you need to be in to make plays.
Now, I know they're redoing the track on your practice field, but you're also down at the pit on Monday.
Yeah,
is that because of the practice field, or because you were trying to get them back to square one?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Was there a little psychology in that?
Little psychology. I'm more than just a head football coach. I'm also a psychologist.
Psychologist.
So, you have to deal with different demeanors, different attitudes. Yeah. Let these kids understand that, hey, it's not just about us losing the game. Now, what do we do to make sure that we don't lose the next game?
For folks not familiar with what we're talking about, kind of describe what the pit is. Tell them what the pit is. Do you mind?
The pit is a hole. It's at the back side of the school. It's surrounded by the trees, and air blows over your head and not through your body. So all the cool air that you might see, people in the breeze and stuff like that, you don't get that in the pit, because it's covered by the trees and it's covered by a hill.
By a hill. And John Tyler football teams have literally been practicing in that pit. Yeah. For how long? As long as the school's been open, I guess, right?
As long as the school's been open. and we have dragonflies down there that you can probably saddle up.
And so it's a pretty good atmosphere, really is. And it's kind of part of the mentality of John Tyler football, isn't it? I mean, that pit is a part of the Cujo mystique, isn't it?
Oh,
really?
Most definitely.
Sort of?
Everybody has to have a rite of passage, and that's one of them down there.
All right, let's, now that the first game's in the book, first of all, health-wise, how'd you come out of the game?
I think we came out good. We had one guy that had a season injury, knee injury. That's Howard Hawkins. But other than everybody else,
play?
He plays backup nose and tackle behind Braylon and Pierre Leonard.
Okay, but he's out.
He's out for the remainder of the season.
Wow, that's a tough break.
Yeah, it's a tough break.
But other than that, pretty good shape.
Other than that, pretty good shape, and he'll be back because he's a junior.
Okay, and then I want to talk about the O-line a little bit too, because we didn't give these guys any love at all. You've got 2 or 3 guys that graduated this past year, part of those 30 seniors. So who's back on the O-line for you?
The center for most of all, DeQuay Montgomery.
Okay.
You got Adrian Harris back, but we moved him from the left side to the right side.
Okay.
We have a newcomer, Alex Bridges, playing left tackle. We have DeCorian Blaylock. You also have Jackson Bridges that'll be playing, which is the younger brother of Alex.
Okay, so some new guys up there, right?
Guys. And then you got coming in and sparring at the guard and the tackle is Kobe Harris.
And it really is almost the offensive line is physical, but it's also it's chemistry and almost a ballet out there with what they have to do to move around,
because them guys have to be in sync with each other for that front line to work, whether it's pass protection or whether it's run blocking.
Let's talk about Longview. I mean, they're the Lobos, and there is a rivalry still there, isn't there?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's on Saturday this week.
Yeah, and it's just, but what do they do? I mean, just describe what a game against Longview, what do they do?
A knockdown, drag-out team. It's like a boxing match. You just get ready to go the distance with them. They run the ball, they're big, they're physical, and they're Longview.
They've never embraced, I mean, they run out of the pistol, but they've never embraced
the spread offense.
No,
they haven't. They haven't, and they probably never will, because of the type of players that they have. They have big offensive linemen. They have big bruising backs, and they have an abundance of tight end type kids. Yeah. So running that 2 tight end, 1 tight end set, that's made for them.
And their running back this year is a kid named Tyler Miller, who I've been watching since he was a 9th grader. And he's a big old bruising running back, isn't he?
That's it.
You know, got to put him on the ground.
He's going to stick it up in between the tackles and the guards, and he's going to go to work.
Yeah, and of course, you know John King very well. I mean, he's been kind of one of your coaching mentors,
yes,
too, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
When his philosophy is that way, when you play those guys and you beat them, and you did last year, How good do you feel about yourself on Saturday morning, or in this case, this year, Sunday morning, if you can beat those guys?
It's like having a black eye, but knowing that you got the belt, you know? Because, I mean, we came out of that game banged up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's to be expected when you play a team like Longview.
You talk about non-district. You mentioned it earlier. You want to play teams that are good enough to give you a real look at yourself. You're not kidding yourself,
yeah,
right?
Because you don't want to have that false confidence going in the district. You want to be able to be battle tested, and these first 3 games are going to test us.
Yeah, you get Plano, then Longview this week, and then Robert E. Lee next week. So there's nothing not to like about. Win or lose these games, there's going to be something to learn from all of them, right?
Win or lose, they're going to make us better moving forward, going in the district and making a deep playoff run. Because we are going to face probably every type of offense that we could probably go against, every type of defense that we probably go against, a rough, tough, Longview running style offense, big offensive line coming from Plano, the speed that Robert E. Lee has also. So, I mean, it gives you a little bit of everything that you need to look forward to moving forward.
In about a minute, we got about 2 minutes left, but in about a minute, can you run down any changes in your coaching staff this year?
We bring Jamie Moore back, which he started out when I took over. We added a safety coach, which is Chris Wrighton. Okay. And then that's just the varsity staff. So actually, I retained most of my coaches from the varsity staff.
Good.
On the freshman staff, we got 2 former players now. Jeremy Johnson, which played quarterback for us. Yeah. And Robert Spencer. Went to SMU. Robert Spencer, which graduated from UTEP. He's going to be our head freshman football coach. Okay. And then we have Walter Hunt, which is a volleyball coach and a football coach. Okay. Don't ask me how we made that happen, but we made it happen. He's going to be coaching the freshmen. He does wide receivers and DBs. And then we brought another old face back to the program, which he's an administrator on staff, and that's Edgar Rodriguez.
And Will Blaylock's your offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator. My defensive coordinator is still Barry Anderson. My special team coordinator is still Tori Elder. Okay. And Coach Moore is actually my director of football operations. So if y'all got any questions about what's going on in the program, contact Jamie Moore.
All right, let's plug the games this week. That's, of course, Coach Ricklan, Holmes, and the Lions. They are part of the Trinity Mother Frances Kickoff Classic. And that's always a great event. There are 3 games this week. There is the White House Chapel Hill game on Thursday night, September 3rd at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. On Friday night, Robert E. Lee plays Lufkin. That's a 7:30 game. And then Coach Holmes and the Lions will play Longview in a 7 o'clock. That's right. He's holding up 7 fingers, right? You did, right?
That's right.
Not 7:30. Don't get there 7:30.
Not 7:30. You'll be 30 minutes late.
It's a Saturday night, 7 o'clock game. And here's the kicker. A $10 general admission ticket gets you all 3 games. Now, I think at $3.33 a ticket, a pop, that's pretty good value, right?
I think it is.
That's pretty good.
For 3 good football games.
Pretty good football games. So there's nothing not to like about that deal. And that's the Trinity Mother Frances Kickoff Classic. And again, the final game of the Classic is Saturday night. Coach Holmes and the Lions against the Longview Lobos at 7 o'clock at the stadium. They need and deserve your support. For Coach Holmes and the Lions, go Cujo. Thanks for joining us.